Every year, on the last night of October, millions light candles, carve faces into pumpkins, and dress like the dead. But few remember where it all began. This celebration of ghosts and monsters was once a sacred night of fire and fear. Long before candy and costumes, there was Samhain, the night when the dead returned to walk among the living. Long before Christianity, before the Roman Empire, the Celtic peoples of ancient Ireland, Scotland, and Wales celebrated a sacred night called Samhain, spelled Samhain. For the Celts, this was not just another festival. It marked the end of harvest and the beginning of the cold, dark season, a time when life and death brushed close together. They believed that during Samhain, the boundary between the living and the dead became thin. Spirits could return, wandering freely through the world of men. To protect themselves, villagers lit great bonfires on the hills. Flames that reached the sky symbolized safety, warmth, and the hope of surviving winter. People wore animal skins and frightening masks so that wandering spirits would mistake them for fellow ghosts and pass them by. At the edge of every village, offerings of food and drink were left outside, gifts for ancestors or protection from mischievous spirits. For the Celts, Samhain was not evil. It was a night of respect for the dead and gratitude for the harvest. The modern image of Halloween, the costumes, the fear, the fire, all began here 2 millennia ago, under the flickering light of Celtic bonfires. By the 1st century AD, the Roman Empire had conquered much of Celtic Europe. As often happened, cultures blended, and Roman festivals merged with local traditions. One of these was Feralia, a Roman day to honor the dead, and another was Pomona, a festival for the goddess of fruits and trees. Pomona's symbol was the apple, a small detail that survives even today in the Halloween game of bobbing for apples. As Roman customs mixed with Samhain rituals, the Night of the Dead gained new flavors, less about fear and more about remembrance and harvest. But the biggest transformation was yet to come. As centuries passed, a new religion spread across Europe: Christianity. The Church sought to replace old pagan rituals with Christian celebrations. But rather than destroy them completely, many traditions were reimagined under new names. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III declared November 1st as All Saints' Day, also known as All Hallows' Day. The night before became All Hallows' Eve, which, over time, was shortened to Halloween. This clever adaptation allowed the Church to honor the dead while slowly transforming ancient beliefs into Christian meaning. People still lit candles to guide lost souls, but now they prayed for saints instead of fearing spirits. In villages, old Celtic bonfires became Christian vigils. The night was still one of remembrance, but now framed within the language of faith.
Through the Middle Ages, Halloween, or All Hallows' Eve, took on new layers of superstition. People believed witches flew through the night sky, guided by demons. Farmers left bowls of milk outside for wandering souls, hoping for protection of their cattle and crops. In some regions, children and the poor went door to door, singing prayers for the dead in exchange for small cakes, known as soul cakes. This practice, called souling, was the earliest form of what we now know as trick-or-treat. It was a time when Europe lived between light and darkness, faith and fear, intertwined. In literature and art, Halloween appeared in ghost stories, poems, and folk songs, reflecting humanity's eternal fascination with the afterlife. By the 1500s and 1600s, fear of the supernatural reached its peak. Across Europe, Witch trials and accusations spread panic through towns and villages. Halloween became associated not only with spirits, but with witchcraft, black cats, and omens of death. Yet many of these beliefs came from misunderstanding old symbols. The black cat, once sacred in ancient Celtic lore, became a sign of evil. The bonfire, originally a blessing, was twisted into tales of dark rituals. Still, behind every superstition lay humanity's attempt to understand nature, death, and destiny. Halloween, through these centuries, reflected the fears and beliefs of its time.
In the 17th and 18th centuries, millions of Europeans crossed the Atlantic in search of a new life. Among them were Irish and Scottish immigrants who carried their ancient customs with them, including Samhain and All Hallows' Eve. In colonial America, life was hard and deeply religious. At first, Halloween was not widely celebrated. Puritan settlers in New England rejected anything connected to witchcraft or paganism. But in the southern colonies, especially in Maryland and Virginia, communities began holding harvest festivals and telling ghost stories around bonfires. By the mid-1800s, Irish immigrants fleeing the Great Famine brought with them a rich tradition of Halloween games, pranks, and storytelling. It was during this time that the custom of carving faces into vegetables, originally turnips in Ireland, transformed in America into the carving of pumpkins. The soft orange pumpkin was easier to carve, and soon it became the glowing symbol of Halloween we know today, the jack. According to Irish legend, a man named Stingy Jack tricked the devil himself. When Jack died, neither heaven nor hell would accept him. Condemned to wander the earth, he carried a burning coal inside a carved turnip to light his way. People began carving their own lanterns to scare away his restless spirit. Thus, the jack-o'-lantern was born. Over time, his story became a Halloween tradition, a symbol of both mischief and protection against darkness. By the early 1900s, Halloween in America had evolved into a community celebration. Parades, parties, and playful pranks filled the night. Children began dressing in costumes and visiting neighbors for small treats, reviving the medieval souling custom in a new way. By the 1930s, the phrase trick or treat became common, meaning give us a treat or expect a harmless prank. After World War II, with sugar once again widely available, candy companies promoted Halloween as the sweetest night of the year. What had once been a pagan festival of fear had now become a joyful, family-friendly celebration. Halloween was no longer about survival or religion. It was about imagination, community, and fun.
In the second half of the 20th century, Halloween exploded in popularity. Movies like Halloween, 1978, Hocus Pocus, and The Nightmare Before Christmas turned the holiday into a cultural phenomenon. Costumes expanded beyond ghosts and monsters, now including superheroes, celebrities, and every pop icon imaginable. Decorations became bigger, scarier, and more creative. Haunted houses, horror films, and TV specials made October the month of fear and fantasy. And through the internet age, Halloween spread across the globe, celebrated in Japan, Europe, and even parts of South America and Asia. A night that began in ancient Celtic fires had now become a worldwide festival of creativity.
Today, Halloween is celebrated across the world. From the crowded streets of New York City to the bustling cosplay events in Tokyo, from Dia de los Muertos in Mexico to festivals in Europe, the night has taken on countless forms. But what makes Halloween truly special isn't just candy, costumes, or scary movies. It's the way humans embrace imagination, face fears safely, and connect with both past and present. A night that once honored the dead and warned of the coming winter now allows us to play with fantasy and identity, to become anything or anyone we desire.
Psychologists say Halloween gives us a rare opportunity to explore fear in a controlled environment. By confronting monsters, ghosts, and darkness in play, we understand courage, creativity, and the boundaries of our imagination. It is a night when adults and children alike can experience thrills without real danger. A ritual of joy wrapped in mystery.
The story of Halloween reminds us that history is alive. Every lantern, every costume, every story told around a bonfire carries echoes of ancient peoples, their fears, and their celebrations. Halloween is not just about ghosts and candy. It is a bridge between past and present, life and death, fear and fun. So next October 31st, as you light a pumpkin or dress up in a costume, remember, you are part of a tradition that has lasted more than 2,000 years.